Hi, I'm Nadia Aboud, and in this special edition of AMS Talks, Steve Mungari, Business Development Manager at AMS, travels to Northern California to catch up with Paul Matsukas, owner of WaterWorx. WaterWorx is an independent company that provides operating services to water systems across the Santa Ynez Valley region. Paul has been involved in a number of hexavalent chromium or Chrome 6 technology demonstrations in the area. From ion exchange to reduction coagulation filtration, Paul brings a practical, real-world perspective on these treatment technologies. As water systems across California work to develop their compliance plans to meet the new 10 parts per billion maximum contaminant level, finding the most efficient and cost-effective treatment solution for each unique application is a top priority. Let's join Steve and Paul and dive into what WaterWorx has learned and what other water systems can take away from their experience.
We're here with Paul Matsukas from WaterWorx in the beautiful Woodstock Ranch area of Santa Ynez. Paul, could you tell us a little bit about the community and the clients here?
The community is a very rural area out here at Woodstock. It's they completely rely on water wells to do everything. There's no municipal water, and it's very spread out over a large area out in the foothills.
Yeah, I noticed that most of the area is either wineries or ranch-style estates or a combination thereof. So, Paul, you mentioned that the area is dependent on wells. One of the things that we've seen as far as state regulations on safe water is the elimination of chromium-6 in the water supply. With this in mind, what are the options for the municipality? What are the options for the community to do?
The options for the community, you only really have a few options. The few options are treat the water with some sort of treatment system, drill a new well if it's possible, and or blend is basically the options.
Because the wells are spread out in this area, it doesn't really sound like blending is probably a good option. And because there's a dependent on the area, it sounds like treatment is the best way to go.
Treatment really is the best way to go. A lot of these places, like Woodstock Ranch, for instance, the wells are, some of them are a couple miles apart. So trying to blend it is virtually impossible. And the amount of money it would take to run pipelines across this whole ranch would be just not feasible. So basically treatment is the only way to go. And there is not a lot of room to build a new or drill a new well. So treatment really is the best way to go, and it would be wellhead treatment at each well site.
I like it, Paul. That sounds very good. It sounds like it's good for the community. You know, when it comes to treatment, there's a couple options. You know, one is an ion exchange system that basically removes this chromium-6, but then becomes an environmental hazard or it has to be disposed of. Or there's a different technology called reduction, coagulation, filtration, or RCF, that takes this toxic chromium-6 and reduces it to a safe chromium-3. Paul, in terms of this RCF technology that we just mentioned, there's really two types of RCF out there. One uses a ferrous type system, and one is what is provided by AMS, where the stannous reagent is generated on site. You know, one of the concerns of a community is the large-scale size requirement of a ferrous system. Would that be a factor for your community?
Anything large scale is a factor to the community. So everything, as you can see where we're at right now, there's not a whole lot of room. So space is a huge thing to the community.
Since WaterWorx is providing support services throughout this area, a ferrous-based system normally requires a lot of hands-on operational support on a pretty regular basis, whereby the AMS solution is fairly automated. Would that help AMS and the customer base?
It will help everybody. Operators love ease of operations. So, and especially out here in a rural area, when you have to respond somewhere to an emergency or something going on, if it's not automated, it's harder for us to respond in a timely manner to have reliable drinking water at all times. So your system, how it is, basically runs itself is a huge benefit to us.
So it sounds like when there's only so much of your team to go around, you're looking for ways to make best use of your time and resources.
That is 100% true.
Paul, we were just talking about ion exchange and the challenges it have for the community. Could you give us some detail on that?
So one thing, as we've trialed ion exchange before, and it's the constituents in the water that can affect the ion exchange, the bed volumes in the ion exchange. And we do have quite a few constituents in the water that do affect those bed volumes. So which means the ion exchange has to be serviced more regularly. O&M is way higher on it. And one reason why I've really liked AMS is because no matter what's in the water, it doesn't affect it. It is unaffected by a lot of the constituents that we have. And it takes basically whatever we can throw at it.
Based on the specific water quality challenges in the area, why does WaterWorx recommend RCF for your community?
So I've trialed many different types of treatment systems, as you explained, and one thing is a lot of them produce a toxic substance when you're done, and you end up with a toxic waste, and that's just not really an option for these small communities. And I recommend AMS because there is no toxic substance when it comes out in Chrom3, it is a biodegradable substance, and that nobody has to worry about any hazardous waste.
So it sounds like using RCF is safe for the community, it's safe for drinking water, and it best fits the needs of both this small community and probably larger systems as well. Paul, thank you for your time.